Now, ladies and gents, right now we just received the NEO Q1 earnings, and I must say they are mixed earnings, meaning that there are good things and bad things, which is something that of course we're going to dwell more on this video. Now, without wasting any more of your time, ladies and gents, revenues, when you look into the revenues and the earnings per share, NEO I think failed to beat analyst expectations, because analysts were expecting NEO to report total revenues of around 10.4 billion RMB, and NEO reported total revenues for Q4 of around 9.91 billion RMB, which equates to roughly around $1.37 billion. So the market was expecting over $1.4 billion, and NEO produced $1.37 billion. Now, when you go to the earnings per share, NEO was expected to report an EPS of around negative 2.2 RMB, but NEO produced a negative 2.39 RMB, which equates to roughly 33 cents. So NEO reported a 33 cents loss, which of course it's not what analysts expected. Those are the only bad things that we can talk, or when you talk about these earnings, ladies and gents, we can obviously talk about. But otherwise, as for the gross margins, I think they came out better than what so many people expected, because you will know that when you look into the total deliveries that NEO produced for Q1, the over 30,000 deliveries, they were of course over 3% less than the kind of deliveries that NEO reported for Q1 of 2023. You will know that when you look into the gross margins of the vehicles that NEO produced in Q1 of 2023, it was 1.5%. That was the gross margins. And mind you, like I said, those vehicles, or the vehicles that NEO sold then, were of course more by the 3.3% as compared to the vehicles that sold in this Q1. But the gross margin for Q1 of 2024, which was announced today, was 4.9%. So though NEO sold less vehicle than what they sold back in, of course, Q1 of 2023, the gross margins is much better than that of course Q1 of 2023, which is something that is pretty exciting, something that is to be noted. Those things that we're talking about, the lithium prices, NEO cutting on expenses, NEO producing their own chips, NEO cutting on staff, I think it is starting to play very well, or it is the one that of course made the gross margins to improve. I mean, this is good news, because imagine the kind of gross margins that NEO is going to, or that NEO might have for Q2. I mean, looking at the fact that Q2, you will know that of course deliveries are much more. I mean, from the guidance that NEO gave for Q2, ladies and gents, we can agree that NEO's target, or what they are targeting the most, I think, is to deliver around 20,000 vehicles, because from the guidance which they gave, they're expecting to deliver for Q2, they're expecting to deliver vehicles of between 54 and 56,000, which when you calculate based on the 15,620 vehicles that NEO got for April, and the 20,544 which NEO got for May, me and you can agree that they are expecting to deliver somewhere between 17 and 20,000 deliveries, which, knowing NEO that probably they've came in the past probably and lower the guidance sometimes, I think they have learned, and this might be accurate. And actually what they might try to do is to try to beat, of course, their guidance. I think that might be the one thing that they are targeting for, because, ladies and gents, we know that from the order book, NEO has got good orders, which is why the NEO president yesterday came and said that NEO existing two factories can handle the demand that it's coming in terms of orders, meaning that they've got quite a number of orders, and ladies and gents, meaning they can still deliver almost the same cars, if not better, deliveries than they produced last month in May. And I'm talking about the 20,544. I still believe and I maintain that NEO can still produce 20,000, though their delivery, it's indicating that they can deliver up to 20,000. I think we will see NEO delivering over 20,000. In fact, onto their guidance, or under their guidance, you'll notice that there's a statement that NEO highlighted there, and that is the statement of saying that this is a preliminary view, meaning that this is a view based on what the company, the current situation or the current moment in the company. This can change. The guidance might be increased or decreased, but if NEO delivers more than the guidance, I don't think there will be any changes, because actually they would want that, because they would have delivered more than what they had projected, which I think is going to be the case looking at the order book that, of course, this morning or earlier today we discussed, and that is the order book saying that NEO currently or collected or accumulated around 27,000 orders in May or around May. And looking at the waiting times after a customer has placed orders, most of the orders that NEO got, or most of those 27,000 orders that NEO got, they have not delivered them, meaning that most of the cars are going to be delivered this month. Now, when you go to the cash and cash equivalent, NEO indicated that as of the end of March, they had around 6.3 billion of cash at hand, which is something that, though it is a decrease, I think you will remember that Q1 NEO indicated that they'll be buying Jack's assets so that they can produce their own cars. I mean, you will know that I think after Q4, NEO had over $8 billion dollars worth of cash, or they had around $8 billion worth of cash. And to see, of course, a decrease to $6.3 billion might make sense, because I mean, like I said, there were things like buying, they had to buy assets, or they had to take over 600 million to buy assets. And of course, there's also a factory that they are building. So part of the reason why the cash might be low, it might be because of those reasons. Oh, and before I forget, another thing which was not good, of course, it's of course the operation expenses, which came at negative $747 million, which was a 5.5% increase from the operation expenses from Q1 of 2023, and an 18% decrease from Q4's loss of operation, which is something that, yeah, man, it is still pretty high, but obviously things get better with time. I mean, today you will know that NEO has on their website, apparently they have opened a page where their supply chain partners can comment on how they can cut costs, which is something that I think it is a good initiative, because, ladies and gents, it will help into them bringing some of the costs down. So overall, yes, like I said, these are mixed earnings, and we've got some good and bad things that we can comment about this. But we look forward to Q2, because Q2, ladies and gents, we might even get to see record breaking, of course, quarterly deliveries, because the most that NEO has delivered is just over 55,000, and to know that the NEO's upper limit is getting to 56,000, I think if NEO can get to that, it will be pretty good, pretty amazing. And hopefully the gross margins for Q2 gets to double digit, which that I think will really excite the investors. Otherwise, with all that, guys, I just thought I just gave you this quick updates. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that likes button, comment, and subscribe. And once you subscribe, don't forget to hit or click that notification bell so that at least you get notified by YouTube every time I drop a new content. Otherwise, that's all from me, and I wish you nothing but the best in your stock market investing journey. And God bless you all.